get back to your weekend. But do you waste your time? You ever thought about how much time you actually been wasting? For some people that don't really want to learn or have the right mindset, they'll think that these types of discussions and presentations by me and people that have wisdom and have experience doing something will sit down and make available to other people. They would see this as a waste of time or a boring session of not really getting to anything. And if you're extremely profitable and consistent and you don't have any hardships whatsoever from a psychological point, then I could agree readily that this is probably a boring session. For anyone that's successful, consistently profitable, they know what they're looking for as a trader, they're not watching or listening to anything I'm putting up. They've already found their way. I have students that don't sit in on these. They're making money. They're doing their own thing. I don't view that as disrespectful. I don't need their support. And I don't want you to be tethered to me. The whole point is for you to be independently minded, have a goal, a purpose, a principle-oriented approach to trading. So that way you know what you're doing, when you're going to do it, why you're going to do it, or why you're not going to do it. But a terrible thing occurs in the beginning is where you waste a lot of time. And that time wasting can be based on following failed logic from failed mentors that don't have the evidence to show what they can anticipate in price action presenting itself in real time in all different time frames, which is why I do a lot of the teaching methodologies that I do. I use a lot of lower time frame charts, so that way there's a lot of examples. There's lots of examples, and it also teaches you to go in and not waste your time burning candlesticks needlessly. Because think about how much time from the very first day you started contemplating being a trader. You would look at these candlesticks on the chart and try to figure out what it means to you, like a scrying mirror. And you're looking at it, trying to get some kind of vision from it. Something's going to materialize like hieroglyphics suddenly will make sense to you. Maybe you've read books. Maybe you looked at PDF files that's been circulated around the internet. Maybe you've watched YouTube videos from other mentors, other approaches to trading, and you've dabbled, not really made an attempt to trade with it or learn it, but you've dabbled with it, looked around and see, does it really get your gears going? Do you feel inspired by the methodology or the things that would be otherwise taught by the teacher, the method, or whatever it is that you're trying to do in trading? There's a lot of time wasted in the beginning doing those types of things. And unfortunately, that is a needful thing. It is a very, very needful thing. You have to do that. You have to allow yourself some time to figure out what direction you're going to go in. There's going to be lots of those opportunities to follow something that looks shiny and new, something that looks interesting, innovative, colorful. But really, if it doesn't really stick its hooks into you and really latch onto you and not let you go, it isn't for you. And that's how you know you found what it is that you should be doing, whether it be the PV array that I teach or a model that someone else is teaching you, or if they have something they sell. If it really resonates with you and puts its hooks in you and you just cannot get away from it, it just keeps drawing you back, then it's just a matter of time that you have to invest to do very well with it, because something subconsciously resonates with that. And the uncertainty or the time required for you to get good at it is the uncomfortable, uncertainty of not warming up to the idea entirely. Wasting your time looking at drama-based content, whether it be things like on TV, like news. News is a terrible thing to watch. Worrying about other people's opinions about you, what you're doing, trying to compete with other people, trying to get the attention, the clout type thing. All those things are terrible time wasters. And negative thinking, toxic negative thinking. If you do a lot of that, what'll happen is over time, your mind will literally filter out any positive thing or any evidence to the contrary, because you'll be more prone to side with the negative view. That's the main staple of brainwashing. If you constantly are fed something that is untrue over and over and over and over again, and if you stay around that, eventually you'll submit to it and you'll believe it. Which is why I always bitch slap all these people out here. And then the list is growing smaller each day now. But they'll say that this stuff doesn't work that you're learning. They'll say that I don't trade with a real account when it's right there in front of your faces. They'll say that I won't call the market before it happens. I do. They'll say that there's nobody making money with smart money concepts, and they're all over the place being interviewed, showing receipts of withdrawals and payouts, proving their executions. Like, at some point, if you listen to toxicity, you'll believe it because you need it to be that way, because it'll justify your own inability to stick with a process to learn it for yourself, or your own failures. I watched a young man the other day tweet to me. He says, "Fuck you and your ICT concepts." And I told him to eat a dick. And I fucking meant it. Because that's the very epitome of a failed motherfucker. That's a failure. That is a failure. Because you're not supposed to be trading in front of CPI. Now that sounds hypocritical, because here you saw me make $7,000 doing it. But truth be told, I wanted to take a loss. You guys never see me doing that. And I wanted you to see it. I wanted to be wrong. I was showing my youngest son, I said, look, this is how bad it can be, but I'm not going to do a lot of contracts. I'll do a very small position, but it'll be big enough for some of you, most of you, to respect the fact that, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to do that if it was real money, but I can afford to lose that. I could afford to lose it. It's not going to break me to do it. Your mentors, your teachers aren't going to go out there willfully put themselves in a situation to try to lose money to teach you something to prevent you from wanting to do it yourself. But they'll go out there and try to do Olympic sized feats and do max loss days on their live streams and try to peddle some bullshit like it works, and it doesn't. And nobody's making money consistently with it. But you look around in our community, there's people popping up every single week that are brand new, and they have done the things they were instructed to do, and they protected their attention span from bullshit, drama, time-wasting, vampiric things that this world will come at you with through social media, TV, movies, friendships, opinions, your family's opinions, the people you work with, Carl. All of those things will be an impediment on your perception about what it is that you should be focused on right now. Because you're trying to burn those candlesticks faster than they're intended to burn. You know what I'm talking about. You're looking at that 15-minute candlestick and it feels like a lifetime. You want it to reach your take profit. And you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you can't stand it. Your whole model's based on a 15-minute chart. But you'll drop down to a 1-minute chart, which you've never looked at before. You're not even interested in it, even though I show examples of me doing it precisely. My students do it. But you're not comfortable in that time frame. But you'll bend your rules to go down to a 1-minute chart because it seems faster. I can't wait for that 15-minute candlestick to finish. I wish it would burn faster. So let me just drop to a 1-minute chart. It'll feel like time's going by faster, and it's not going any faster. That time frame is not moving any faster. There's no reason for you to be afraid of that 1-minute chart or a 30-second chart. Some of you are freaking out saying, my son's trading a 30-second chart. Man, he's in the fast lane. You know, he's doing something that he's not ready for. He's trading price. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Only thing you're doing with that time-based chart is you're showing the highest fluctuation and lowest fluctuation for that interval, that it is measured the fluctuation of price within that duration of time. That's the only thing that it's recording. But price has done the same thing on all time frames. It's moved up and down to those same price levels. The myopic infancy of fearing lower time frame charts or calling them noise is just a testimony to your ignorance. And that's not something that's derogatory. It's just simply that you don't know what you're doing yet. He's learning, but he's doing something that I laid before him that is not even a complete model. And look what he's doing. What did you just say, ICT? You said that's not even a complete model. It's not, because he doesn't require the higher time frame take profit level, the draw on liquidity, to be even reached. What? Yep. If there is this insatiable desire for you to get there faster, I'm hoping that you are encouraged by my son's attempts to do this and his development. He started trading that funded account, and I've since learned that when the screen says Express, that's the one that you can take money out of. That was my confusion. I thought an Express was the part where you try to get funded. That's the Combine. So I don't know very much about it, but he has 3 past Combines, and he activated or paid for one of them to go into a funded account. So he only has 1 technically funded and 2 on the sides, where I guess if he doesn't do well, or if he does want to do more, he can activate them later on. But he started trading it last Friday. And I told him, not yesterday, Friday, but the previous week's Friday. And I told him, I said, listen, here's what I want you to do. You can see where the 15-minute, the hourly, the 4-hour, and daily lows and highs are. They're obvious. And right above that or below it is liquidity. You need to have an idea of which one you think the market's going to go to. But if you see a stop run, and this is the part where you guys have been asking, then you talk about it as a model. I'm doing it right now. I'm not going to do a fucking YouTube video about it, okay? Because you've already learned this. But because now my son's making real money with it, you all are interested in that. When it's something that you've already been introduced to. It's been taught ad nauseum. And it's simple, isn't it? It's real simple. Everything I've ever taught is simple. But what complicates it is you sitting down and figuring out what you want to do with all that material. I'm not failing you as a mentor by withholding information. You are not doing the work that's required for you to sit in front of these charts and study. And what is it that he's doing? He's looking for, predominantly, I told him if it makes it easier for him to focus on a 15-minute chart or a 60-minute chart, so hourly or 15-minute time frame, he needs to see where the market is likely to draw to. That means if there's 2 relative equal highs and it's bullish for the day, and I lend him that experience. That part I lend to him. So for those that are out there saying, oh, you're doing it, you're doing all this. If I was fucking doing it, the fucking account would be over $12,000 right now. If I was doing it, it'd be over 12 grand. But he needs to do this. He needs to see what's possible in his own hands, and it's encouraging. And he's doing really well. He's not overconfident. He's actually very pleased. He's like, this is really neat, Dad. Like, this is nuts to make this kind of money. Which is, I mean, you and I talking, we're adults. We know what $200 a day is. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. But to an 18-year-old who used to work at a coffee shop and grossed $400 a week, but paid twice a month, bi-weekly, that's something significant to him. So I told him 15-minute chart, 60-minute chart. I'll tell you what I think the bias is going to be for that day. And that'll teach you to focus. That's exactly what I was doing for my paid mentorship students. Every single day, I would tell them the bias. That's what they paid for. They paid for that mentorship. They paid for the experience that I was lending them. And they watched it happen 97, 98% of the time, literally come to pass. And it's all fucking documented. And anybody can say the shit they want to say, but it's all recorded. All time and date stamped, all before the fact. And there ain't a fucking person, not one clown can say anything about it. And even my own students would have came forward and said, it didn't happen. And it never happened like that. And now you see it because it's for free. I'm doing it in front of all of you. So I'm mentoring him in a limited capacity, but requiring him to do all the work. But he wants to do the actual button pushing. Okay. 30-second chart. What you need to see is on a 1 or 5 minute chart, before you drop down to that 30-second chart, you have already arrived at what you think the market's likely to do. And this is the part that everybody that's brand new or impatient or just wants to watch a 5-minute fucking trainer video and think that they are going to figure it out. Let's cut through all the bullshit and too much talk in ICT. You're boring shit. Fuck you. Get up the road. Go watch Joe Schmo. Okay, Mr. Reset. This is the real stuff. This is the part that you need to figure out. How do you trust that the market will go higher or lower? I can't tell you an everyday solution that you're going to trust, because sometimes I'll go into the marketplace and my bias may shift because the market will do something that I didn't want to see it do. And because I have experience in the navigational skills to work within that, the time that it takes me to change my mind, I don't have time to sit down and explain to you what just took place in the chart that make me change my mind, because I'm looking at a 1 minute chart and sometimes less. But remove all that and think about what I teach you on the market reviews and commentaries on the euro dollar. What were we aiming for? That old daily low. That's not support resistance. That's fucking liquidity. We were aiming for a move below the low. That's not support. Okay. We want to see it go down through it. We're targeting to it and through it. That is not fucking support resistance. We're going in with the idea that the market's going to draw towards those actual orders that will be resting below an old low or above an old high if we're bullish. And you stick with that idea until proven clearly that you're wrong. And that same approach, you use it to every time frame. And for my son, I told him, I said, it'll be easier for you, not perfect. It doesn't mean it's going to be flawless. You're going to lose. He will lose eventually. It will happen. He will have a losing day that causes him to have to sit still. Will that mean the model is broken? No. Some of you are just waiting for that to happen. Some of you are dying for that to happen. I'm not impatient about it. I know it's going to eventually materialize. But he stops. If he follows the rules, he stops. And then he'll think about and have to entertain the idea of what it feels like being in that negative day. But guess what he has? He has the experience of having done it now 6 days correctly and making over $200. That same $200, that's minuscule. Let me rephrase that. Okay. I'm talking as an American here. Okay. For folks that don't make that much money in the country that you're from, please do not be offended by what I just said. I'm not trying to say anything to make you feel uncomfortable or be condescending. But in America, $200 is not a lot of money. I mean, frankly, if you go to the grocery store, you can't even put